We're in conversation with Mohit Joshi, the CEO of Tech Mahindra. Thank you very much, Mohit, for talking to Moneycontrol. And in fact, this is special because I think it's your first interview after taking charge as CEO. So what are your priorities going to be in 2024? You've already announced, I think, a reorganization of sorts, but what are your plans going to be going forward?
Thank you, Chandra. And it's great to be here. It's great to be here with you. Look, I think for me, it's been actually less than a month since I have taken over as CEO.
Shall we call it your honeymoon period?
Well, I'm hopeful that the honeymoon period will last a lot longer than a month. But I think what we have done over the period of time, right, is first of all, spend some time to understand the organization. So I spent the first 6 months really meeting with our teams, our clients across the world, spending a lot of time with the broader group itself, with the Mahindra group, to understand it. And as a result of all of this, got a very good appreciation of just the incredible talent that we have, the incredible client list that we have, the significant amount of support that we have from a really progressive group. So that's been sort of the exploratory phase. Clearly, we announced an organization structure that was fit for purpose, for the company. Tech Mahindra has been a very successful company, but the org structure over time needed a little bit of streamlining, and we have done that. Moving forward, what we're working on is we're working on a plan for the revenue. What are the sectors we focus on? What are the markets we focus on? How do we build the next generation of service lines? How do we utilize fully the promise of AI? We're working on a plan for margins. How do we drive greater productivity? How do we make sure that our margin profile, is comparative with our peers? And then, most importantly, I think we're working on a plan for the organization. How do we build a learning organization? Tech Mahindra historically has invested very heavily in training and learning. How do we get the benefit of that? We've hired a really impressive chief marketing officer to, build our brands. These are all exciting things that we're working on. A plan for revenue, a plan for margins, and a plan for the organization.
So by when do you expect Tech Mahindra to get back to, a growth that's comparable to peers? Most importantly, a margin profile that's, comparable to peers.
Yes, well, it is way too early to answer that question. It's like I said.
But have you set yourself a 2-year target, a 3-year target? By when do you think that?
Yeah. So I have not set a target yet. I do feel that, again, given the strengths of the company in terms of the talent, in terms of the client base that we have, in terms of the group support, there is no reason why we should not be the best performing organization. But I'm loath to set very strict timelines solely in my tenure. That would really be a very short-sighted way to get rid of my honeymoon period.
Mohit, you're someone who comes with a very strong background in BFSI, and Tech Mahindra's strengths have traditionally been in telecom. So again, do you see scope there for de-risking dependence on telecom, increasing reliance on BFSI? Because BFSI is clearly one of the biggest technology, spenders for IT companies.
Yeah. So look, I think in my career, while I have spent a lot of time on BFSI, I also ran the healthcare and life sciences business in my previous role, also ran sales and large deals for the entire organization, also ran our entire software business, including the automation and AI business. So I do have a sort of a broader historical remit than just BFSI. Having said that, I do agree with you that, look, in TechM, we really have a fantastic telecom and communications business where we're market leaders. We also have a very strong manufacturing business given the heritage of the group. We have $1 billion plus BFSI business, right? So it's not a small business. It's a very significant business with deep strengths in asset management, in insurance, in banking. And we're certainly going to be looking to, to increasing that. But also we're looking to increase our healthcare and life sciences business, our retail and logistics business. Again, at $6.5 billion in revenues and 150,000 people, we do have the luxury of being good in more than one thing.
Right. You're also taking charge, Mohit, at a time when there is a lot of uncertainty, when it comes to demand. Discretionary spend is not yet come back. Gen AI, too early to say how much of it is going to translate to large deals. And we've seen actually headcount decline for companies, for many quarters in a row. What exactly is happening in terms of sentiment, and what is 2024 going to look like in terms of client tech budgets?
Sure. So look, as you know, Chandra, we are in the middle of a silent period, so I can't comment on anything which is short term or near term, given the fact that we announced our results. But our peers have announced their results over the past couple of weeks. And it's very clear that in the previous year, there has been a slowdown, right? Pretty much across sectors. But again, and I keep saying this, in the medium to long run, right, you cannot help but be very optimistic about this whole business, the whole business of helping enterprises transform, using the cloud, using AI, leading organizations through digital transformation. And really across the world, the demand for engineering talent, for programming talent, for design talent, right, is not going to diminish. So in the medium to long run, very optimistic about the business. There are obviously up cycles and down cycles, but really, in the long run, right, and I've been in this business for 20 plus years, really does a plus two or a minus two make a difference when you're looking at a 5, 10, 15-year period where this industry has really come from nowhere to become world beating. And I strongly feel that, the best days of the industry are still ahead of it.
Right. Any, in terms of priorities, what would your number one priority be now, Mohit, in the next 6 months?
I think the number one priority obviously has to be resilience, right? To make sure that this organization that I've inherited from CP, to make sure that we're able to, to retain the talent, retain the client base, and then to deliver growth on top of that, right? We've defined a new organization structure. I think there's a tremendous amount of energy. We've got some great new talent in. We're working on, like I said, the plan for revenue, the plan for margins, and the plan for the organization. So again, there's a lot that we're working on. I feel very optimistic about the business.
You mentioned new talent. You've inducted new CMO, CHRO, a lot of people in the senior leadership. Will that continue?
Well, so I think, look, while on the functional side, right, we've got new talent in a CHRO, but we got a new CHRO because the old CHRO is moving to a business role, right? We got a new CMO because we really didn't have a full-time CMO in the organization. The bulk of my direct reports, with one or two exceptions, are people who've been in the organization long term. So trying to create that mix, right, of the sort of tenured talent that really understands the group, understands tech end, and some fresh talent coming in where in areas where historically we've not had senior representation.
Right. What do you make of all this poaching wars in the IT industry? A lot of ex-Infosys, ex-Wipro people seem to be joining competing firms. How are you going to get around this?
Well, it's, much though I'd love to make a comment over here, I think the prudent thing would be to keep my mouth shut.
Okay, Mohit, on that note, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.